Hello and welcome to the MHG podcast. As usual, life can be a little bit miserable, life can be a little bit dark, so we're here to bring you as much light and as much joy as we possibly can. Joining me this week is Stu, because he's here every week, and I will just get that intro right one day, but hey, you know me by now. Hi Bradley, I never get it right. How you doing, Stu?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I like getting things in the wrong order occasionally. It keeps life spicy.
Can you have a wrong order if you're always getting it wrong?
Well, no, because that becomes the right order, I guess, doesn't it? Yeah, it's the standard.
Yes, so I'm rightly randomising it.
Yep.
But yeah. Want to introduce a slightly new feature that will last for about a week and then I'll forget about 1 week and then never do again. I think we should do the Ashley James Hero of the Week Award.
Okay.
Do it after Ashley James because she came out of nowhere to be a hero a few months back when she put Charles Brandriff in his place, and I loved it. We all loved it. And obviously last week we had, I can't remember the girl's name now, who threw Milkshake over Nigel Farage, and produced, by the way, I had putting this forward for a Webby at the end of the year, however you do that, the greatest title in the history of anything. By the way, congratulations, Stu.
Thank you very much.
Take a bow on that one because honestly, that would have had like right of place on a national tabloid. It was that good.
I liked it.
But you got to say they're scum, the tabloids, but they make a good headline.
They do.
Yeah. That would have been right at place, and I bet there's someone there who's at a tabloid going,
kicking
fuck.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to hire that guy.
Yeah, honestly, greatest title we've had. So, yes, congratulations. But anyway, the Ashley James Hero of the Week Award very quickly goes to Matt Smith. Doctor Who, if not just some random person called Matt Smith. Oh, no, it could be a random person. But no, Doctor Who actor Matt Smith, who was doing an interview regarding the new Game of Dragons thingy, whatever it's called. What's it called? House of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
It's a new series of it or something anyway. They was doing red carpet stuff and he's been interviewed by Sue Perkins. And they're asking about fellow actor Emma D'Arcy and what they managed to bring to the show and some of the stuff they were doing and everything. But Sue Perkins kept using she as a pronoun. And Emma D'Arcy is non-binary. So Matt Smith, without even correcting, like going, excuse me, or anything like that, in the best possible way, just started going in his reply. Yeah, they are absolutely brilliant in what they do. And just use their pronouns. I nearly slipped then. Use their pronouns and showed how easy it is, one, to learn and just naturally go to somebody's pronouns, but respond to somebody else using the incorrect pronouns without belittling them. Sue Perkins herself, I used her before because I was going to come on Sue Perkins, I had her in my mind, but Sue Perkins herself, basically, instead of doubling down, like your J.K. Rowling's and all that do, and then find yourself going down this weird road, basically turned around and went, look, I'm sorry, I should know better, I'm a massive ally, I should know better, and I will do better. And I just think that's absolutely brilliant. It's incredibly wholesome, shows that you can be corrected in stuff and you can learn, and Matt Smith done it in the best way possible, and it just shows Doctor Who is the most progressive thing this country seems to have ever produced, because all the actors who have been in it have been wonderful.
Yeah.
Even Billie Piper, unfortunately, she married a knobhead.
Yeah. An error in judgment, or, well, probably not even that. Probably just hid all of his horrible characteristics from her. But yeah, no, Sue Perkins has always been a good and really impressed. I didn't know Matt Smith was a good ally, so it's good to learn that as well. So yeah, thumbs up to all of them. Very, very good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, that's this week's Ashley James Hero of the Week. Might be a semi-regular feature. I might forget completely, but yeah. brilliant. I think honestly, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, we all know how great David Tennant is. Obviously, that we do all know.
Oh yeah.
And in general, but there's people have been showing sort of like, because a lot of people complain about how I don't like Doctor Who personally. I've just never got on with Doctor Who. It's too bloody woke, Stu. Doctor Who.
That was all that woke stuff.
Too woke for me. Yeah. No, I just never got on with it. I think it was a bit corny for me. I might give it a chance. I might try like going back and watching like the David Tennant years and onwards. Anyway, a lot of people are going, sort of like Doctor Who's got rubbish now because it's woke. So someone's put together a package of going back through the years, and yeah, it's kind of always been a bit in the queer space, shall we say? And Doctor Who has always been, let's just say, gender fluid. She's always been portrayed by male actors, but has always been a bit gender fluid.
Yeah, it's always been like, you know, I remember watching Queer as Folk, and that must be about 20 years ago now, and that was written by Russell T Davies. Sorry,
Yeah.
And he has like tons of Doctor Who references in that. His lead gay character is really into Doctor Who, and it's just like, yeah, I kind of didn't realise until then that it's so associated with the queer community, but it really is. And to suddenly go, oh, you know, it's gone woke, dumbest thing ever. Yeah,
it's always been woke, and no one ever cared about any of that going back. I say, you go back, Coronation Street had trans characters. You know, Big Brother had a trans winner, no one cared. And you're getting all the misinformation there, because apparently, do you know Leah Thomas, the swimmer?
Yeah. Okay.
Trans swimmer, yeah. Apparently, the courts have ruled that she, and I will show you because I believe she uses she, cannot swim in the Olympics because she's trans. But a little bit of fact checking. Do you know why she can't swim in the Olympics, Stu?
Go on.
Because she's not good enough. She's only ever won one major race. But obviously the transphobe will tell you believe she's turning up at every women's event everywhere and just absolutely dominating them. She's won one major race and that's it. And her time in that win was nowhere near Olympic standard. That's why she's not going to the Olympics. Nothing to do with her being trans. Even though there is a ruling in place that stops trans athletes who have gone through puberty. Trans athletes who have gone through never assigned gender puberty actually competing at elite level sports in swimming. But that's not the reason that Leah Thomas isn't there, but that was the headline. So, yay! Yay for facts.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, moving on, because otherwise we'll get bogged down in this. Do you know what else isn't good enough for the Olympics?
What's that?
Jeff Keighley.
Definitely not.
That's just an easy segue. Jeff Keighley's not good enough for anything. Video games, because he is video games. We've just had not E3, or as it became known in some parts, legally distinct E3, because a lot of legally distinct type games coming out, and I think that's what it should be called from now on, legally distinct E3.
I like it.
There's a couple of articles on the website for anyone who wants to read them that cover the shows themselves and the 100-odd games I managed to add to my wish list. And you consider I don't touch AAA stuff. To me, to get over 100 items added suggests that's what a weekend it actually was. But started absolutely dreadfully with Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest. Oh, God, it's just dead behind the eyes. It's just like someone I used to look to and go, do you know what? He cares about video games, is that Jeff Keighley? He actually cares about what he wants to do, and he wants to, you know, make video games like respected. He's just dead. Now he's dead behind the eyes, and there's just nothing, no life there whatsoever. In fact, the only life that came to the show, like that hour and a half, whatever it was that he had, was when Victoria Train came on to promote Inner Sloth, who made Among Us, new initiative, where they're going to use their success to fund more indies from other independent studios. She was nervous as hell, stuttering over her words, trying to be funny and unfortunately failing, but was joyful. She was honest. It was a stark contrast to Jeff's cold, dead shilling that was going on. But yeah, read up on the articles. They're all on the homepage, front and centre at the moment. See what games you should add to your wish lists. But we wasn't just watching games, Stu. We was playing some games too. So I've spoken enough. What have you been playing?
Yeah, I've had a look. I had a look at the at our page and looked at all the stuff, and a couple of them jumped out. I've downloaded a couple of demos and had to play.
It's Next Fest as well, isn't it? As well, yes.
Yeah, it's
probably not by the time you listen to this, but some demos are still about.
Yeah. Nothing's really leapt out at me yet, but I might have picked the wrong ones, or it might be too early in development. But we'll see. Yeah, it's all exciting stuff. But yeah, I've
got a few tactics and roguelike games for you, Stu.
Oh, there's got to be.
Deck builders.
Deck builders, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh,
yeah, do you want some of them?
Rub my hands together in excitement. Oh, yeah. Can barely wait.
Cover me in grease and... No. Yeah, go on.
So, no, I've actually been playing I don't know, double A, maybe double A. I don't know where it falls, A, double A. I've been playing Tekken 8, which isn't a triple A game, just because it doesn't have that push. Because they're in a funny space now, 3D beat 'em ups. They're in a...
And so are Bandai Namco, in all fairness.
They are funny, yeah, and they do really well with this because obviously it gets into the fighting game tournaments and esports, and it has a long tail, and they can keep the price up, and they do a lot of DLC. So it's a very funny business model for these kind of games. It's really odd, and they've moved away from, having a much interest in the single player aspect in a lot of them. But thankfully for me, that's not the case with Tekken 8, which has...
No, they love their single player to Tekken.
They really do. They really invest in the whole story, which I don't give them monkeys about, but it gives them a good argument to build characters and build story, and that gives you a good excuse to have plenty of stages to play in and plenty of story missions to play. And yeah, it's got loads of that, which is fantastic. And there's not a massive amount to say about it, especially as it came out several months ago, and anyone interested has probably picked it up by now. But just to say, it's got really good systems that have built on the history. It selected some really good characters because the roster's just gigantic, and it's picked out some good ones from that. There are a few really notable omissions which you they're probably bringing them back as DLC characters, kind of thing, but nothing to scare the horses sort of thing. It's got a really good system of can't remember what they call it now, but the way that you activate your powers is really good, and it's nicely balanced. Looks quite attractive. It doesn't look amazing. It looks all right. It's got good animation, but yeah, it just plays as well as the best. I think you could probably make an argument for it being the best one. I mean, I've not played all of them. It's the best one I've played since 5. I can't remember if I've played 6 or 7 at all though, but I remember 5 being a really good one. So yeah, it's great. I'm really glad I picked it up. I like the new characters. In fact, my main is one of the new characters, Victor. So yeah, really good stuff. Really glad I picked it up. Probably going to be somewhere in my Game of the Year list at the end of the year, I reckon.
Yeah, it's I was first sold on Tekken when obviously you could fight as a giant jaguar. Turned out it was a Mexican wrestler with a jaguar mask, but I didn't care at the time. But you can fight as a training dummy, and you can fight as a panda bear, because why not? Why the hell not? And I think it's one of those series that doesn't take itself seriously at all in all the right ways, but it takes itself seriously in, look, we're going to make a fighting game that's not only accessible, but you can excel in. And I think it's truly one of the only games in this genre that is both brilliant for elite level play, but playable for people like me who just haven't got a clue about fighting games. And I love that this has got that... I think this one's got this top-down thing where you walk through a world and it's got a story. You have like intermission fights and stuff like that. But maybe it also had an early one had like essentially a Streets of Rage mode in it, and it's just I love that they do this because I'm not gonna lie, a pure fighting game is great if you're doing all the elite level stuff. But aside from that, I actually find the idea of just fight after fight after fight get a bit boring. And I think this and Mortal Kombat, especially, are the two that take it to new levels. But this is, for me, head and shoulders. And yeah, I'm glad you like it because I've got it and I really enjoy it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's lovely to have something that somebody as rubbish at these things as me can dabble in on their own and enjoy, rather than feel like I have to go through a load of training and get it, and go online and get beaten by some 5-year-old who, is just mashing the buttons, or somebody who's been playing it for 20 years and is absolutely elite. So yeah, no, it's good. Nice niche for it to fill.
But you can do that as well. And that's the good thing.
True.
You can go and just get absolutely humiliated.
Yeah. You can choose your humiliation. Always good.
Excellent. No. Be interesting. If anyone listens, see that's the confidence I have in the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, nice.
Where would you put Tekken in the A's? I think AAA is an insult these days, so we're not going to say AAA because I don't think it's just an insulting game. It's not one of them. Where would you put it in the A's? Let us know, or don't. Just listen passively, like you all do, because that's what podcasts are. I don't know what I'm talking about, Stu.
Well, let's move on to what you've been playing then.
So, starting off with, I've been playing an indie game. There you go, there's a shock. And it's a horror game that actually left me feeling a little bit unnerved.
Oh.
I know. And that's because what this does, it plays with tension in a really, really clever way. Now, the game's called Flathead, and it's by a developer called Tim Oxton, who has another game out and another one coming. And just to get you clued in on this, basically you can get this game for a grand total of £1.69, so go out and get it. So when I first saw this, I was like, sounds interesting, and then I looked at it and went, oh god, it's just Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh god, no, what have I done? Where you kind of get in a darkened room and you've got to do stuff, and oh no, look, the mechanics are getting you. Whereas it's not that at all. It's much more cleverer than that. So it's got a decent backstory to it, which I won't spoil. And the more you play it, the more you unlock and stuff like that. But you're a candidate who gets kidnapped, and you have to go for a quote-unquote interview and perform some tasks. And the task is you basically sit at this terminal and you've got to basically play a version of Bruce Forsyth's The Price is Right. No, not The Price is Right. What's the other one with the cards?
Play Your Cards Right.
Play Your Cards Right. You've essentially got to play a version of that where if you get it wrong, you'll end up dying. But it's not just that. It's not just, oh, you get it wrong and you die. That would be, in and of itself, a bit boring. What's happening? You're sitting in this room and there is this constant presence. There's these footsteps that are coming. This is where I got the Five Nights at Freddy's thing, but done better. There's this constant presence. There's footsteps and they're getting closer and closer and closer. And if the lights are off fully, they get closer and they get quicker. If you get it right, you can maybe slow down the footsteps a little bit. There's an option to use a light, which turns a light on for a brief moment of time, and that might send the footsteps back a little bit or slow them down. If you get a high-low wrong, then your lights all completely go out and it all gets through you quicker. You never know, though, when it's quite going to get you. Which is where the tension comes from. And it's got jump scares, but it's not the jump scares that are the issue. It's that tension of, I know a jump scare's coming, but I've got semi-control over this jump scare, and you want to not try and avoid it happening. So you're doing it, so you might get like between 1 and 20, you might get a 4, and then you go, right, okay, so it's going to be higher. Probability is going to be higher. And if you get 1 right, you get 1 point. You go, right, next one comes out, it comes out 19. You go, right, so 19, likely to be lower, you get it right. Because you've got 2 right in a row, you get 3 points, so you get an extra point, and you build it up. And you can then bank those points. And basically, behind you is a lever with a number on it. And it starts off like, the first level was like number 10. You've got to get 10 points to then use on this lever to escape the room and move on to the next level. If you get it wrong and you haven't banked the points, then you lose them. And you're stuck in that room even longer. And there's lots of little things you can do. So there's like this button you can press that'll go, oh, look, this is what the next number's going to be. So you make your own luck, the button's called. So it'll tell you exactly what it's going to be and you can choose it. But it darkens the room and those footsteps get closer and closer and closer. And at any point, there's also this mannequin to the right of you. Early on, I didn't quite discover what this mannequin was for. And it's got a mechanical head and it keeps looking at you. And I thought, oh, maybe you're meant to stop that looking at you. No, that doesn't stop the thing approaching you and getting you. I don't know what that's for, but it's really unsettling, it being there. And I'm sure the more I play with it, the more it's going to tell us what it's actually for, and it'll reveal itself to some degree. But it does this thing. If you do get caught, it's not game over because it catches you and it's like this hand comes down over your face and grabs you and then you get this blood-soaked face in yours and he pulls something out of you and it's got a number on it. And then basically you have to choose whether what comes next is higher or lower. And if you choose it correct, you get to go back and carry on. If you're wrong, you're dead. And that's it. And you can escape, and it seems completely great random number generation. You know, it's at the RNG in it is absolutely brilliant. The tension is constant. I put it on. I'm talking about this not just on the fly because I put it on last night just to give it a quick go. And I was like 3 hours deep and sweating. Such was the tension. The headphones on, middle of the night, and I was, oh my God, for £1.69, this has done horror better than most big budget games. And it's not scary in terms of, oh my God, jump scare. It uses tension, and the way it uses tension is just absolutely genius.
Nice. Yeah, I think this is a developer to look out for because, funnily enough, I briefly, very quickly had a look at like one of the streamers that I follow was doing Amanda the Adventurer 2, which is also by him, and
oh right, okay,
yeah, and that's a kind of you're watching tapes of a kind of Dora the Explorer kind of thing, and it keeps getting interrupted by like funny broadcasts as you're watching them, and that's kind of the basis of it. So I think he's got, and you have to investigate and explore and stuff. I think he's got some really clever ideas the way he goes about it. So, I think I'll be picking Flathead up, to be honest, and giving that a go.
Oh, yeah, see, I didn't realise it was by him because it's developed under a studio rather than him alone, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks that way, yeah.
Yeah, he also done, as one of his lone ones, Future Racer, it's called, which, again, it came out last year in May. These are obviously just small experimental titles, but I've got that on my wish list. And he's got another one coming soon called Silk Bulb Test. And I think they're probably all leaked in some way, these games that he's producing under his own name. But, yeah, really, really good. And I did a quick check. Unlike the knobhead who does Five Nights at Freddy's, I don't think he's a massive right-wing transphobe racist. So, yeah, good so far. But, yeah, it looks really good. And now I've just added Amanda the Adventurer to my wish list.
Yep. So, it's number 2 is... it's not a number 2. it's good by the look of it.
And apparently I have Amanda the Adventurer 1. So
nice.
That's me sorted.
Yeah, and there's a demo available for number 2. So awesome. Yeah,
sweet.
Checking it all out, definitely.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, get on that. It's brilliant. Flathead is absolutely wonderful, and I don't think you'll spend the better £1.69 this year.
Sounds good.
There's a rise of these because what did I play the other week? Buckshot Roulette.
Yeah. Love
these
that.
experimental horror games. Oh,
So
get more
good.
of these, please.
Yeah.
And just to quickly go back to Legally Distinct D3. If you're interested in some different horror games that aren't just your usual tripe of, oh, look, you're wandering around the room that's pitch black and can't see anything, and we've got a crap torch and asset flip, then highly check the Latin American Games Showcase, because the horror stuff that's coming out of there, oh, chef's kiss, looks fantastic.
Indeed. Does look good.
Anyway, what's your other game, Stu? Philip's Head.
No, I've been playing one called Heavy Storm Shadow, which has got nothing to do with Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe or Action Force, whatever you call it. It's a VS-alike, which is kind of my version of your roguelike deck builders, in that practically every other game I play at the moment is one of them. And but yeah, no, I'm a little bit obsessed with them at the moment, and at the moment I mean for the last 18 months. And I'm kind of picking up any of the good ones that I can. And I'd like, definitely say this is one of the good ones. I mean, you're not going to be surprised by pretty much anything in it. The only difference, like the wrinkle with this one, is that you're in a mech suit, which gives them the opportunity to, kind of justify all the different heavy weapons that you got and stuff like that. These things live or die on how good their weapons are and how well they're designed and how much you like using them. And it's good. It's good. I won't say it's excellent. It's not quite. It's nowhere near sort of the balance of Vampire Survivors. But there's some really good weapons in there. There are some that like when you get them they're rubbish, and then when you power them up they're good. There are some that you get that are good, and when you power them up they don't really improve, and there's some that are just rubbish all the way through. So I mean, it could do with a rebalance from that perspective, but it's a cheap game. It was like $5.99, and it's good. It's good fun. It doesn't do anything new whatsoever. It's just yet another one in the long line of them. But from that perspective, and if you're into them and you want to see sort of slightly different effects and slightly different weapon types, go for it. And I will say that some of the weapons are really good, and some of the ideas they come up with are really good. Only about 10% of them, but that's, if you played a lot of these and you wanted another one, that's kind of what you look for. So yeah, it's if you're into them, give it a look. It might not be for you, but it's worth a try.
Well, worth mentioning as well, because I tried searching for this on Steam. At the moment, as of today, it's no longer listed.
Really?
Yes, I've got. You search for it on Google, it links all to the Steam store, but doesn't get there. And in discussions 2 hours ago, someone else has picked up, gone to get the game, no longer listed, and everyone's a little bit in the dark at the moment. So,
that is very unusual, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, people are coming in with, who knows what it is, could be anything, blah, blah, blah. Someone's gone, possible reasons are mining malware, AI assets, and any other reason I can't think of. So someone's had a random guess, could be anything, could be just a bug, but obviously worth noting. That's why I think this is worth keeping an eye on, this one.
It is.
And yeah. Oh, you would have run into a mystery. We're like, I actually feel like I'm Velma for once.
Not just for once. You dressed up.
Yeah, but actually, there's an actual mystery.
You dressed up as Halloween, didn't you, Velma? Or did I? That was just one of my fantasies, probably.
No, I was dressed up as me at Halloween. I'm always Velma.
Ah, right, yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, yeah, we'll follow this one up next week and find out what's going on with that, because that's interesting.
It is.
I mean, the easy route would be to get rid of it and not put it in the podcast, but that's not interesting.
No, God, no. No, don't get mysteries like this very often. Staying in.
Oh, I know, definitely. Moving on, I just want to talk about a game I've been playing that is out on the Epic Games Store, but has just come over, or is coming over to Steam. And And I don't know why I wanted to play this game. I really, really don't, because I know it's not meant to be very good. But at the same time, yeah. Right, so little confession first. I can't do the Matt Berry voice, which is a shame because this is perfect for it. Because he's New York City bit that he does in his voice.
Yeah.
I can't do it, which is a shame because I've been playing a game called Crime Boss Rockay City, which sounds like it'd be perfect in Matt Berry's voice. Okay, Matt Berry's perfect for everything. We all know that,
Of course.
Yeah. Also, sorry, just to go back to Legally Distinct D3 and one of the good things out of the major shows, the guy who plays Super Hands in Peep Show is doing the voice of one of the characters in Fable. So yeah, that's enough to get me interested.
Yeah.
I can't remember his real name, just Super Hands. Super Hands is in Fable. And now I'm thinking, I think if ever you've got a game that's got British people in it, you need two people. You need Super Hands and Matt Berry. And then put those in your game. And that's it. That's all you need.
That'll do it.
Yeah. Also interesting that Super Hands is Super Hands. I don't know the actor's name. And Matt Berry has been in loads of stuff and he's just Matt Berry. You don't know any of his character names. He's just Matt Berry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He's not got much of a range, to be fair, but what he does is fantastic.
He plays Matt Berry, yeah. He was in Fallout. I couldn't tell you what his Fallout character was called. He played one of the robot fiends, one of the main robots, but it's just Matt Berry now. Matt Berry the robot. So, yeah, interesting. Anyway, it's not interesting. It is interesting. Depends. But anyway, I've been playing Crime Boss Rockay City. And the reason I wanted to play this was because it's a weird looking game. It's been like, people have gone at it and gone, oh, it's not very good. It's like, it's online co-op, blah, blah, blah. And it's not all very good. And they seem to have pumped all their money into star power. It's got in it Michael Madsen, Danny Trejo, Chuck Norris, Vanilla Ice, I think, is in it, or Ice T, one of the two. And I think Kim Basinger, all in it as star power. And it's one of those, whether you're looking at the footage of like the key art or anything, it's one of those you'd expect to see on a DVD cover that's on something that's just gone straight to DVD. All the actors in it have gone cheap payday, sweet. But for whatever reason, you've picked it up because it was like $1.99 in the bargain bin at Blockbuster. So you've picked it up and you can't help but like it. You're like, this is trash. This is absolute trash. It's rubbish. I don't get it. You can see why it's gone straight to DVD or even straight to TV. But do you know what? I bloody love it. And that is kind of Crime Boss. It's an action roguelike, online FPS with tycoon management bits built in. It's like we've thrown as much shit at the wall and seen what sticks kind of thing, but somehow managed to get something that's really good. It's got Michael Rooker in it as well, by the way, which is always a good thing. I think he's one of those actors that he's the American version of like Super Hands and Matt Berry. If he's in it, yeah, go on then, I'll give it a go.
It is a quality
He's got
sign.
one of those voices, ain't he? Yeah. And I think they should put his face. He said on Nintendo scene quality, put Michael Rooker's face on something. Anyway, but you go through and it's kind of got this, like, on the whole, it's like this Payday-esque type affair, but better than Payday 3, which is the more popular thing, obviously Payday, but no, this is better than Payday 3. You go through, you shoot up areas and you take over, and then you basically hire people to do some of the bits for you. You do heists, and there's this story of like taking over territories, which is where the tycoon stuff comes in. It's hilariously acted. It's kind of like got this real Uncanny Valley thing about it, but better than Uncanny Valley. It's really, really weird. It's got some great production values. It's not very Moorish at all. It's like I play it where I'm done for a bit now. It's weirdly broken up into There's like a proper just offline mode, which is a roguelike mode, which is the main bit I've been playing. But there's online co-op stuff and PvP and all that going on. There's loads of new stuff coming that I can't tell if it's paid for DLC or whether it's going to be released at some point. I haven't got a clue what that is, so it's not very clear in some respects. It's just a mess of a game, but one that has just enamoured itself to me. It's unsupported on the Steam Deck, but runs brilliantly. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just on the Steam page now. So all the DLC, like the game's coming out, it's going to be like 20 quid, I believe, for the full game. And all the DLC is going to be free to keep for a limited time at launch. So from the 18th, apparently you can get all the DLC for free, but only for a limited time, which I'm okay with as a business practice. It's get people in early and support the people that get in early by giving them free shit, and then the people that come along later, make them pay. I'm okay with that as a business practice.
Yep.
It's playable, but it's shit. And I just, honestly, excuse me, if I was reviewing it and I had to give it a score, I'd probably give it a 4 out of 10. It's shit, but it's not shit. And it's, honestly, what's the game's equivalent to straight to DVD, Stu? Because that's what this is.
Yeah.
But it's a straight to DVD. Like, do you know where Jeremy Beadle sold DVD players?
Oh, yeah, vaguely.
And like you get 50 DVDs with it. You get like a couple of big budget ones, like you got The Mask and like Third Encounters of the Encounters of the Third Kind, or whatever it's bloody called. I can't remember what the film's called now, but you got a couple of big budget ones, and then you got a bunch of absolute trash. But in that absolute trash, you found something that you really liked, and what's more than anything else, this is that trash, but the good bit of that trash. And yeah, they could put that on the box. This is absolute, like, straight to DVD trash that I love.
Yeah. There's not that many of them around. You either have, your unplayable garbage, or, it's average, and then works up from there. But, yeah, when it's absolute trash, but you actually want to play it, it doesn't happen very often.
No, as I say, I picked it up because I first saw some of it. I went, this looks interesting. And then I put my application in for the review code, and I then remembered what this was. And it's not often you get a game where the user score and the critic score are absolutely spot on with each other. But the meta score for this is 51, and the user score for this is 5.5, so 55. So everyone agrees this is trash. Because in the video game world, unfortunately, a 5 out of 10 is an average. It's trash. And this is hot trash. But the people who have liked it really, really like it. And I think what they've done is they've played an absolute blinder here, 505. And whether it's their decision or whether it's the decision of in-game studios who developed it, 20 quid or $20 is actually so it might even be a bit cheaper for us, with all the DLC included at launch. They've played a blinder there, because that's one of those where you go, do you know what, if I play this for a couple of hours and jump into it every now and again, 20 quid's not too bad. Whereas that there's a AAA studio or Activision or something like that that's probably got similar out that would charge 60 quid for this, and they charge you for all the DLC.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm okay with trash. I'm okay with trash games if you price them correctly. And do you know what? For the grand total of what would be, let's say, £21.68, if we say it is going to be £19.99, so £21.68, you could play a brilliantly well-made horror game and a fun bit of straight-to-DVD trash, and get many, many hours of entertainment from it, and still have enough money left over, probably, to buy a few more really good indie games that are coming out. So, yeah, on this, it's crap, but it's brilliant crap.
Brilliant crap. Yeah, that's what they'd love you to say about it. Definitely. Yeah.
So I would, if I made a game that I know's not doing very well, that's honestly one of the things I would put something like that on my key art. Brilliant crap, mental health gaming.
There you go. Yeah, that's the box quote.
It's the name of the title of the podcast as well, possibly. But yeah, no, that's it for me. I mean, I've been playing other stuff. There's loads of stuff that's been in the Next Fest that I've been really enjoying. But if you really want to know what I think about that, then obviously you can check the website because, yeah, it's on there. I do want to point out one though. The Operator is the perfect demo, by the way. Just more love to that. It's the absolute perfect video game demo. It's half an hour long. It's kind of like a Sam Barlow tribute in many ways. You play an FBI style operative who's got to help agents in the field. It lasts half an hour, and by the time it was done, I was absolutely gagging for the full game. Yeah, the flip side of that, yesterday I also played Flintlock. It's like a Souls-like type game. It's a couple of hours long, the demo, and it's all right. But the demo has had the adverse effect that you don't want it to have, in which I've played the demo, and I'm like, I don't need to play the full game now. I think I've had my fill.
Ha! God, that's a bit ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, it put too much into the demo. If it had stopped after opening up, so you go in and you do this bit, it's like a tutorial level. If it had stopped there, and it's got some buggy issues and stuff like that was a little bit, ooh, that needs fixing. If it had stopped there, I would have still gone, do you know what? I'm going to keep an eye on this and I'll probably pick this up. Now, though, I've had my fill. I'm like, it's 2 hours. I probably 2.5 hours in total to get through to the end of the demo. And yeah, I've played what I need to play of it. And it's not interesting enough for me to go, ooh, I want to play more. Whereas the Operator, I am salivating at even mentioning it. That's how much I want to play the Operator more again. So, yeah, get your demos right, people.
Yeah, very important.
With that, though, talking about knowing when to stop, Stu, I think it's about time I shut up.
Fair play. Yeah, so as usual, follow us on all the socials. Make sure you're checking out our content. There's loads of stuff about Summer Games Fest and stuff like that on the website with input from Brad and nobody else, not me. So it's
I've been finger banging away.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can actually, it's good quality because it's not written by me. And apart from that, yeah, join us on Discord if you want to chat. And other than that, until next week, stay safe and stay sane.
You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.